D, baby. 313 Detroit's love, the Motor City. Detroit's love, can't nothing stop me. Detroit's love, I love my city. Detroit's love. Welcome to another episode, Middle Ground with JLE L.L.C, where we treat you like family. That is the theme song, Detroit Love, off my first album, the JLE Experience. Have another amazing guest for you today. We have published author, Pain to Purpose life coach, and CEO, president of Wild Ministries, LLC, Melissa Walker Johnson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
I appreciate you for doing it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So you tell the audience a little about yourself.
I am Melissa Walker Johnson, born and raised in the city of Detroit, Michigan, for 40 plus years. I am a native of the D. I love the D. I just don't like the weather.
Oh,
man. Born and raised there, grew up Pentecostal at my Bishop Church, Bishop Rush Lockhart Jr., New Hope Tabernacle for 20 plus years. That's where my roots are planted there. Live now in Charlotte, North Carolina. Been here for about 8 years. I'm getting used to the South and the weather. And so
better than us here.
Weather is good. Just getting used to the culture in the South. So I am, happy to be here. I'm happy to be in this space that I am in today. I am the CEO and president of Wild Ministries, LLC, as well as the DBA Wild Coaching Company. Just a little bit about my background. I have a master's in theology and counseling. I am a professor by day at Central Texas College. I teach world religion. My passion is teaching. So I am a teacher, I'm a speaker, I'm a preacher, I'm a writer. I just try to use all of my gifts to glorify God. I do all of that under Wild Ministries. I also have a talk show, which I am very proud of. It's called The Brilliant Black Man Show, where I interview successful Black men all around the USA. So I'm so excited about that. And launching on tomorrow is my coaching program called Pain to Purpose Coaching Program. It's a transformation system that will take you from a life of pain to a life of purpose. So I'm a purpose girl and so glad to be here.
Okay. So first question, what led you to this path?
I believe it was my journey. I always think about the narrative of Joseph, and I think about his journey. And Joseph was given a dream at a young age, and he had to go on this journey to be prepared for the dream that was given to him. He wasn't quite ready. He found himself in some very painful places, but those places prepared him for his purpose. And so I think about that. I have been on a journey of pain. I've had many painful situations, and I was in a relationship a marriage for over 20 years, 20 plus years. And in that marriage, it was extremely painful. And the way that it ended. And after that, I had to find my purpose of being, and I had to know that God still loved me beyond the ending of my marriage and the pain that I endured in that. And so I went on a journey of discovering who I was, what He had called me to do, and to do it with passion. And in that discovery, I was led to write a book. And the first book that I wrote is called The Seven Weapons to Defeating Worry. I had to get to a place of not worrying about my life and where I was going and how I was going to get there, and what about the finances. I needed to know all of the answers. I thought I was in control, and I had to get to a place to know that there's someone greater than me that's in control. And for me, that is Jesus Christ. And he is control of my life. And I had to follow him. And in following him, I had to get to a level of trusting him, truly trusting him. So that means releasing Melissa and allowing God to take full control of my life. And so that book transformed my life, and prayerfully it has transformed many women all around the US. Actually, it has sold on in different continents and around the
Awesome.
country. And so I am just so grateful for God giving me that gift to write it. I didn't know those gifts were in me. I didn't know what was in me. And he developed, and he's still developing me. And so after the first book, I just kept writing, and I didn't know I was a poet. I wrote poetry. I wrote about events that were happening. I started writing about the brilliance of the Black woman and how they can be healed and whole. And then it led me to the brilliance of the Black man, because I was so alarmed at the violence that were happening to our Black men and how they were portraying our men. And so the writings began, and I just began to write and began to speak. And it just all kind of evolved. And as God was working with my heart, he was showing me who I was and the plan that he had for my life.
Wow, that's a heck of a plan.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes I have to laugh too.
I'm sitting there like, okay, just let it try to cry a little
I
bit.
know, because my background is finance, right? So I my bachelor's degree is in it's in management, and I thought I was a financial girl, and so I was in the finance world the first quarter of my career, and
Hmm.
I thought I was, doing pretty well, but there was an emptiness there. And
Hmm.
I
Okay.
was searching for something, and I didn't know what, because I didn't know anything about purpose or anything, even growing up in a church and all of that. I didn't wasn't taught about, my divine purpose. And so I had no idea. I'm just thinking, you know what? This is my job. This is my career. I'm going to do the best. I'm going to try to help people. But there was a desire to do more. There was a desire
Hmm.
deep down inside of me to want to help more people. And I wasn't content at this place that I was at. So I decided to step outside of the partnership. I was in a partnership with other people, and
Hmm.
step outside of that and create my own mortgage company that would be a ministry where I can truly help people. And the day that I got my license was the
Hmm.
day that the industry crashed, and I
Oh no,
and I couldn't use it. And I said, Lord, you have a sense
man.
of humor. And so I'm like, now what? And so,
Mm.
after that, I did not continue to pursue the finance world. I did not really have a desire to pursue it at that level. So
Mhm.
I had to go on a search of what he wanted me to do. And so at that time, I worked with a family business. I went back to school,
Okay.
and I pursued my first love, which was theology. I was taught it as a young girl, growing up in the Pentecostal church. I was taught theology and fell in love with it, and I wanted to major in it. I wanted to know more about
Mhm.
it, so I went back to school during this period of time, and I was it uncovered that I would be a teacher, not only a preacher, but a teacher of the word. And I'm like, whoo, Lord. And so I fell in love with it. I mean, I fell in love with it. And so the passion just comes out, and I let this is what I've been called to do. And I knew that because there's nothing like a person working in their industry and you know that they have a passion. They're doing what they've been called to do. You can see the passion flows out of them. And I
That's
had
good.
that. And I said, this is it. This is my calling. And so I pursued that. I graduated. I received my master's in theology and counseling. Did not want to be a counselor. Went the coaching route. Didn't want to go to counseling route. I wanted to go to because I wanted to get a person from A to B. I want you to
Okay.
walk in victory. And so I knew I wanted to be. I didn't want to be a counselor, but at that time I didn't know of any other options. And so
Okay.
I received my degree. And then after the degree, I was certified. I was ordained, not certified. I was ordained as a licensed minister, I'm sorry, under the leadership of, at this time, I was a member of Evangel Ministries. And
Okay.
so it was under, and my mind is, it's racing. And I know,
Take time. This show's about you.
I'm trying to think of my pastor's name and I can't think of his name. Oh my God. But anyway, it'll come back to me. And I know the one who ordained me and took me through the ministerial classes and
Mhm.
trained me was Pastor Smith. Pastor Smith was the dean of students at the school there at Evangel, and he was a pastor on staff there. And so he took me through all of the courses, and he was the
Mhm.
one that was instrumental in ordaining me as a
Okay.
licensed minister there. And so from there, I began to teach there at the school. They had a school of ministry there, and I began to teach at Detroit Bible Institute,
Okay.
which was founded by the pastor. And I began to teach there. I did my internship there, and then I became a professor there. And I taught there for a couple of years until I left and moved to Charlotte. And then here we are in Charlotte. And so when I got to Charlotte, it was very tough for a African American woman to teach in that biblical sector.
Okay.
It's very hard. They
Yeah,
look
especially the
for
South.
Yep, they look for men,
Yeah.
especially teaching theology. You know, they look for Christopher Brooks. Can I go back? Thank you. Lord, forgive me. Pastor Christopher Brooks was my senior pastor at Evangel Ministries.
Okay.
Pastor Christopher Brooks. And Pastor Flynn Smith was the one who was instrumental in ordaining me along with Pastor Christopher Brooks. And then I taught at Detroit Bible College with under Pastor Flynn Smith as the dean of students. Okay. I
Okay.
got that right now. And so
Okay.
when I got to the South, it was very difficult to
Well, why Charlotte?
just fell in love with Charlotte, visit Charlotte many of times, felt like we were being led here to
Okay.
Charlotte. And I still say why Charlotte, but it hasn't all unfolded yet.
Okay.
Why Charlotte? But ended up here. It was very difficult finding a church home, which is the Bible Belt state. You would think it would be easy. It wasn't. It wasn't easy. And at the time, my son, I have one child. His name is Caleb Carmel Johnson. He's a junior in college now, but at the time he was going to middle school. And so we tried to find a church that had a youth ministry that would minister to him as
Mhm.
well as to us. And so it was very difficult to find a African American church, which we did desire to do that. And so after searching and searching and searching, we did find a church home. And I was able to teach in their Bible Institute. And so I became a professor again, and I taught there. As I began to build my company, I did a series called Minute with Melissa. And if you follow me, I still do that Minute with Melissa, but this one was up close and personal. So this was before COVID, when I could go into people's homes and
Okay.
we could have fellowship with their friends and family, and we can discuss issues that relate to women. And at one of my Minute with Melissa, I met a young lady, and at the time did not know who she was. And she just happened to be at the table with me. We were sitting at the table together,
Mhm.
round table discussion. And we were just discussing our careers and different issues that women go through and things like that. And when she
Mhm.
handed me her business card, she was a director of a college.
Oh, wow.
And I had no idea. So that was a major connection for me. And through her, I was able to land a position at her school. And so at the college, and that's called Central Texas College in Savannah, Georgia. So I teach in Savannah, Georgia. Um, and I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm just all over the place.
Yeah.
So and so I teach world religion. I don't teach theology yet. I teach world
Okay.
religion. And so I definitely looking to expand there. But what I'm trying to do is, and I know we haven't moved into that, I'm trying to build my company and make sure the foundation of my company is sound before I stretch myself out into the teaching world.
Okay. Now, why did you call it Wild Ministries?
God gave me that. He
Okay.
gave me that. And WILD stands for worship over worry. So let's go back a little bit. When I began to write my first book, it was first a curriculum. And I took women through that curriculum, and it was all about the life of Joseph. I love that narrative.
Mhm.
And from there, he said, I want you to write a book. And the book was teaching men and women how to really trust, how to get beyond worrying and get to a place of faith. So worship over worry is faith over fear, faith over anxiety, faith over trying to have control.
Mhm.
And so that book was published first before the ministry. So I thought all he wanted me to do was to publish that book. So I was obedient and I published that book. And
Mhm.
I believe, I know it healed me. I mean, I worried about everything. I worried about everything. I'm like, how can a person grow up in a church, be in church all of their life and worry about their life? And
Wow.
it says, don't you know that God? And I'm looking outside and I'm watching with my eyes. I'm watching the birds and I'm watching the animal kingdom and how they ain't worried. They not worried. They hunt
Mhm.
and they eat and
Yeah.
it's provided for them. But yet and still, I'm worrying about everything. I'm worrying about everything. And I had to get to a place where I had to stop worrying. And guess what? Transfer my control over to transferring my control, me thinking I had control
Mhm.
over to God, letting go and letting God be God and Melissa be Melissa. And when I did that,
A little easier.
it's all in your hands, God. You control it all. You control the king's heart. You control the finance. You have more money than the richest person here. You control everything. You control it all. So I'm
Mhm.
going to trust you. You've been faithful all of my life. So I'm going to trust you, even in difficult times, even when it doesn't look good. And I always say this, even when you don't see the good, I mean, you don't see any good anywhere.
That's a
But
true
he
test.
said it's working for your good. And so I'm
Mhm.
like, I have to trust his word because I found in my life that his word is trustworthy. So if his word is trustworthy and he said, I cannot lie, and he's never lied to me, I have to believe that all of the things that I am going to will eventually work together for my good. Even if my little finite eyes cannot see it, it's going to somehow work together for my good to be the person that he has called me to be and do the things he has called me to
Mhm.
do. Some kind of way he's going to work it all together and it's going to work together for my good.
That's true. Right now, the times we're living in, really, it's a testament to: do you really believe God has you covered, or you just
Mhm.
go to church?
That's right.
'Cause
Yep.
if you
And
don't,
it's
I'm
right.
freaking
And
out
there's
like, oh my God.
right. There's a difference in religion, just going to church, and
Mhm.
relationship and knowing God. It's a difference. It's a
That's
difference
true.
to being part of the church and just going to church. It's a difference. It's a difference in knowing that the Holy Spirit reside in you And that is your hope, and that is your comforter, and that is the one that's going to help you and strengthen you in any situation. There is a difference, and to rest on that and to trust in that, it's a
That's
difference.
true. So, through all you've been through, how did you arrive at pain to purpose is the name?
Pain to purpose is my journey. Pain
Okay.
to purpose is my journey. And it's my signature story. Not ever wanting it to be that. Who wants to live a life of pain? You think Joseph wanted to? I mean, God gave him this, hey, you go rule over your brothers and you go be command and all of that. And then he found himself in a pit.
Yeah.
You think about that. This is a dark place, dungeon, a dark place. It's like, who
Mhm.
wants to be in the pit? Then you think, okay, they didn't rescue me out of the pit and I go into Potiphar's house. And then I got to escape for my life. Who wants to be in those situations? Then I end up in prison. Now, who want to be locked up in prison? And so I don't think that his journey was one filled with joy. I'm sure Joseph questioned why. I mean, how could this be when you
It's only
clearly
human to think that.
told me my purpose? You gave me the dream.
Mhm.
And why is all of this happening to me? But guess what? It was in the pit. It was in Potiphar's house. It was in the prison that he was developed. So when he got into the palace, he was mature and was able to fulfill the purpose that God had for his life. It's something about going through tests and trials that perfect you,
That's true.
perfects you. And no one wants to go through tests and trials. No one wants to go through suffering. No one wants to go through that. So when you talk about pain, you talk about suffering. Who wants to go through suffering? Who wants to cry? And who wants their hearts to be broken and their dreams that this is going to be my life to be destroyed? Who wants to have a divorce on their record when I don't believe in divorce? Who wants that life? I
Nah,
never thought this
agree.
was my life. And here I am. And I said, Lord, I have to trust you because you're faithful. And so, in that, I had to find how this pain was going to somehow work for my good. The good is my purpose. The good is through it all, he's been preparing me for the plan he has for my life. So I had to go through all of this pain. Now, was it his perfect plan for me to go to the divorce? I don't think so. But guess what? Men have free will, and you cannot make a person do right by you. You can't make a person love you. You cannot make a person not violate you and abuse you. You cannot do that. And
Uh-huh.
so people have free will, and in that free will, they make choices. And that choice may not be the best for you. It may not be God's will for you.
Mhm.
Perfect will. But in that, he allows things to happen.
Yeah.
And it happened. And so I
Double
up in
journey so far.
I don't believe God's perfect will is for us to divorce. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. He's a covenant keeping God. And that when we enter into a marriage, it's a covenant.
Mhm.
And if we keep God first and foremost, marriages will work. And so it was very painful. It was very painful. I it was like a death. And I think death probably would have been better because I still had to live, and it was extremely I can't describe the amount of pain that I was in. The tears, I wrote a poem and I said the tears covered my pillow every night. Day and night, the tears covered my pillow, and there was times that I did not want to get up and face the day because I was so much in pain. And not only that, I felt that I not only disappointed, my family, my child, never wanting this for him. Um, I had to deal with that pain. I had to deal with the pain of telling the people that I was in covenant with, that this
Mhm.
was happening, and to tell the people that looked up to me and followed me that this was happening, that's painful. That's painful. And it was just,
Absolutely.
it was very painful for me, extremely painful. And I could not see the joy. I couldn't see the hope. I couldn't see anything but pain. But in the midst of my pain, God gave me hope, and he spoke to me and he said, I'm still going to use you, and I still have a plan for your life. And then he laid it out to me. And not only that, he showed me a vision of that plan for my life. And so in times of doubt, I reflect on what he showed me, and I believe what he showed me will come to pass.
I'm in agreement with you. Now, what has been the impact of you taking on the journey of a life coach?
Had just begun. And actually it's amazing because I have two programs that I am actually launching. Actually launched last year, um,
Okay.
in um, in June of last year. So
Mhm.
that was June of 2021. And it's called Before I Say I Do. It's a premarital coaching program.
Oh, yeah. Man, people don't have them conversations about the day-to-day operations of a marriage.
I know,
You know,
you
you're
know,
gonna be clear, you're gonna be Cliff Huxtable, we're gonna be awesome. Like, did y'all actually talk about that? It's just gonna work. Like, that's not how marriage
no,
works.
you got to work
I
now.
talk about that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just saying you're gonna open up a business and it's gonna work by itself. That's
But
not
some
realistic.
people have that type of thought. Like,
They do. Yeah, I
I
just
just
love
figured they
this
would just act
person.
right. Like,
Yep, 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 yep. I just love this person, and everything is gonna fall into place. And you have no solid foundation. And so, because of what I went through, and because of the lack of
mhm.
counseling that I received, the lack of counseling that I received, I knew that I wanted to impart wisdom and impart instructions and impart a solid foundation in the lives of individuals that were looking to say, I do. So before you say I do, you need to go through my counseling. You need to go through my coaching program. So that's why I named it Before You Say I Do. And it's a premarital coaching program. And I wrote the curriculum, and we
Okay.
go through a curriculum. It's like we're going to school. We're going to
Oh,
school.
wow.
They have assessments. They have assignments. They have journal entries. It's tough, and I make it tough because you need to know what you're getting into. This is a covenant that should last forever, and you need to know what you're getting into, and you need to know your responsibility as a husband and your responsibility as a wife. You need to know what is going to occur, and you need to know principles that you need to apply when these things occur. So that is why I definitely wanted to do the premarital coaching. I thought it was, I thought God had a sense of humor when I think he has a sense of humor, period. That was the thing. I'm like, oh, this is funny. And not only that, I was able to officiate my first marriage
Awesome.
ceremony last year. Real, I was like, oh my God. And it was a beautiful ceremony. I coached them because I said, I will not marry you unless we go through this coaching. That's a prerequisite. I must coach you before I marry you. So we went through the coaching program. It's a 6-week coaching program,
Okay.
very intense. And we went through that, and then I married them. And it was a very beautiful ceremony. And so now I have my next now my next client, and I'm going through another premarital coaching,
That's awesome. I remember a
definitely
friend.
marrying them as well. So that launched last year. The Pain to Purpose coaching will launch tomorrow. So I have not had any clients in that program. It took me a year and a half to
Mhm.
almost write the curriculum. I did not want to just have a coaching program and not have a curriculum. And so I just didn't want to just sit in front of someone and just talk. That's, to me,
Okay.
is not effective. And so I wanted to have a coaching program that will transform lives. What are we here about? Transforming lives. That's
Yeah.
what we're here for. We're here
True.
to transform. transform lives. That is what God has mandated for us to do. We go out into the world and we preach the gospel and we teach the gospel. Why? So lives can be changed. Transformation is changing, and so I wanted a transformation program that will assist women and men on their journey from a life of wherever they're stuck at, wherever they're stuck and can't go to the next level. I want to help them. So the coaching program has many parts to it. So it's just not dealing with, oh, let me identify my purpose. I may know my purpose. I may be in the business world. I may be already a business, but I need to get to the next level. I already have a book inside of me, but I don't know how to write a book. It's helping you get to that next level. So it's all different areas of coaching. So I call it career coaching. But the signature program is called Pain to Purpose, because many women and men are in pain. And pain,
Oh yeah,
pain can take on different forms, right? It can mean different
absolutely.
things to different people. So I couldn't sit there and just write a curriculum about one type of pain. I went through emotional and mental abuse. That was my pain. That was my pain. But that's not everyone's pain, but that's some people's pain.
That's
And
true.
so I didn't want to just be in a box of just dealing with
Just one.
domestic
for
violence.
the rappers.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted to reach a person's heart of wherever they're at, whatever has paralyzed you, whatever has stopped you in your tracks from fulfilling what God has placed in your heart to do.
Mhm.
This program is for you. Let's find out what that pain is. Let's get you healed. Let's get you whole, and let's move you forward.
That's awesome. 'Cause I ain't expect to be doing what I'm doing.
Right?
Like I like debate shows, sports, politics. I talk like purpose.
Right.
I don't know my purpose. Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing like waking up each and every morning and knowing this is what you've been called to do. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. And it's a joy. And I listen to a lot of people, and a lot of intelligent and mature people, and I allow them to deposit wisdom into my life. And it's nothing like, as they say, you discovering who you are and then walking in that space. It's
That's
nothing
true.
like it. It's nothing like it. Mhm.
Okay. Well, what would you say the biggest challenge on your journey so far?
I would say the biggest challenge is always moving forward past failure.
Okay.
In this life, it's not going to work out the way you plan it all the time.
Hmm.
You will make mistakes, and you have to be okay with making mistakes. And I think before, I was not truly okay with making mistakes. I wanted to operate in a sense of excellence. I wanted to operate in a sense of perfection, and guess what? There's no one perfect. And I found myself making mistakes, and it was hard for me to forgive myself because some of the mistakes cost me.
Okay.
And it cost me time. It cost me, and I think about those: time, talent, and treasures. And it cost me in all three of those areas: time, talent, and treasure. It cost me. And I had to stop and think. And this is the thing: whenever you feel that you've made a bad decision, and that it wasn't the best decision for your company or for your life, and that you feel that you've failed, in that moment, you have to see the lesson. And what I always try to do is two things: see the lesson and how I can grow from it. See the lesson and how I can grow from it. And so that has matured me, because guess what? If you don't see the lesson and how you can grow from it, guess what? You're gonna
Repeat.
repeat. And some of them I had to repeat until I figured it out. I gotta
Been there
learn
before.
this lesson. I
I've
gotta
been
see
there before.
what God is trying to teach me. He's
Mhm.
trying to teach me. And one lesson was extremely hard, and I was vulnerable in an area. And God was like, this is going to hurt your ministry. And I love you too much to let you fall on your face. So I have to prepare you now. And so I got to take you through some tough times to prepare you so you won't fall on your face and destroy your ministry. And so it was tough. You know, the lessons that I had to go through was tough, but guess what? It strengthens you. It
That's true.
strengthens you. It makes you stronger. It matures
Absolutely.
you. It perfects you. There is something about, and I don't know how it works, but it's something about going through tests and trials and how it brings out the best in you and how it perfects you and it kills the negativity. I can't explain it, but it's something about in that process that the old man is being crucified and the new man is being made anew. It's something about that process. And guess what? When you're going through it, you don't even know that it's happening. All you know
True.
is that on the other side, man, I'm stronger. I'm mature. I don't know how, but I'm stronger and mature. If you go through it correctly,
Yeah,
if you
that's
go
true.
through it correctly,
That's true.
you come out on the other side stronger, wiser, and better. I'm gonna live a testimony of that. Stronger, wiser, and better. Now, will I make some more mistakes? Absolutely. And guess what? Mistakes and failure is not uncommon for people of success. It's not. It's part of the process. So
Mhm.
listen to me as you're looking at this podcast. You will fail and be okay with it. The best have. The best have. Michael Jordan, he failed so many times. I don't have the numbers in my mind. He failed so many times. But then he said, that's why I succeeded. That's why I
True.
succeeded. Because guess what? When you fall, you don't stay down. You get yourself back up, learn the lessons, grow, and continue on. And that will make you stronger. That will make your ministry stronger. That will make your business stronger. That will make you stronger.
That's you preaching right now. That's true. You got to go through it and get up.
That's right.
It might suck for a
And I
minute.
like that in
No.
James. It says, count it all joy. When you go through
Mhm.
various types of, so in this lifetime, we're going to go through different types of tests and trials. He said, count it all joy. How can you count pain as joy? How can you count what I went through as joy? How?
Yeah.
Tell me, James, tell me.
You're right about that.
You know, he said, because it's working for your good, it's perfecting you, it's bringing out something in you that can't stay in you. You know, that bad can't stay in you. That whatever that God sees in you, let me call it this: that dysfunctional behavior that's in you can't stay there. It has to be crucified. It has to die. So the person, the real person created in his image can come forth.
True. That is true. I'm agreeing with you on that one. Last question. What advice do you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
Ministries LLC.com. Click book now consultation. Ministries LLC.com. Click book consultation now with Melissa Walker Johnson, and let me help you on your journey from pain to purpose. That is how. That is how. I mean, some people can, discover their purpose outside of coaching, different ways. I just think on this journey that you need someone to walk with you, mentor, a coach, confidant, someone, to walk with you to help you become all that God has put in you to become. I don't think we're designed to do it all on our own. I don't think we have all of the answers. And so I just believe that we need someone on this journey that can help us to grow into what God has called us to do and be. And as I study the greats in our time,
Mhm.
these successful men and women, they all have mentors. They have mentors.
That's
You
true.
can call it a mentor, you can call it a coach, you can call it a counselor, you can call it whatever. They have someone in their life that's imparting wisdom in their life, someone that is stretching them, someone that is holding them accountable, someone that can see maybe what they cannot see. You need someone else, you know? And I think you need to go to first and foremost, if I can say this, first and foremost, you need to go to the person that designed you, that created you, because the creator knows the product he created, right? And he
Hmm.
knows the process, right? And he know why he created that person, right? And the
Amen.
plan that he has for that creation. Only the creator knows that. If I created something, I know how it should work. I know why I created it. I know. And when it's functioning the way I created it, I know that. So if I don't know my purpose, then I need to go to the person who created me first and foremost. And then if that doesn't work, you need to get a coach. You need to, you need to get a coach. And I'm not going to say if that doesn't work, I'm going to say, and you still need to get a coach. You need to get someone in your life that will hold you accountable and stretch you.
Wow, that's awesome advice. I agree. Anything else you got going on you want to talk about?
Well, I am just excited. I'm so excited about the Pain to Purpose coaching program. That is the heart of the ministry. The Pain to Purpose. It's just about transforming lives. There's so many hurt people out here. There is so many
Yes.
confused people out here. There's so many deceived people. Um, they're living in darkness, and God did not create us to live in darkness. He created us to live in light. I want the light bulb to come on for you. I want the light bulb to come on so you can see who you are and that you can see what he has called you to do clearly and get on that path to really living the way God has created you to live. And so um, that is the model for my ministry, Wow Ministries. That you will not allow pain to stop you. There is life after pain, and it is you're not living until you discover your purpose. And so the discovery of purpose is the greatest discovery in life. And so
Mhm.
that's why we're here to help you discover the greatest discovery in life.
Awesome. I want to thank the CEO, president of Wild Ministries for all this awesome information. A wonderful journey that she's been through, and she's made it from it. Anybody going through something right now, she did it. You can do it.
Absolutely.
Check out the Pain to Purpose program she's launching in Masterclass. And I appreciate you for doing the show. This was awesome.
Thank you,
Thanks a lot.
Jeff. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me. And may your viewers be blessed and walk in purpose each and every day of your life.
Amen. Everybody have a great day.
You too. All right.